for the entire week, a lot of reporters and other persons have demonstrated a significant interest to know how the investigation is going. So I felt it is necessary, since of certain developments, to inform you and the population what is the further development with this matter. So with respect to the shooting death of CP Clarence Jill that occurred on April the 22nd, and I informed the population after I had received the initial post-mortem report that the investigation was in fact widened. This approach resulted, as we all aware, of the release of Yolano Romney, but that investigation continued by the homicide investigators. Today, I received the official and comprehensive post-mortem report and also the ballistics report from the director of the Forensic Science Center. Before I even go further, I want to give thanks to the director and his entire staff who acceded to my request to work over the long weekend to accelerate the findings and the report that I received today. Having received these reports, I have made certain decisions. One, I have placed 3 officers of the Western Division who were directly involved in the incident on immediate suspension in order that the investigation can continue as we receive further information. I have appointed Senior Superintendent in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, Senior Sup Chandu, to head the investigation jointly with the professional standards. In addition, ECP nurse of the Tobago Division will be, within a few days, be transferred to the CDDCP in charge of the Port of Spain and West area, and ECP Daniel Moore will be moved to Tobago. The Senior Superintendent of the Western Division will be proceeding on some approved position agreement. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we intend to ensure that matters that are under investigation be completed in a reasonable time frame. Swift justice is necessary for both the alleged offender and the victims and also the secondary victims. So we have changed the course of doing business to ensure that whenever we have new situations, that the investigation can be completed in a speedy manner. That is one of the basic tenets of the retributive system that our criminal justice system is based on. We have also activated our victim support officers to engage the family of Clarence Jill in circumstances, and also we have activated our social workers to provide some psychosocial support to the officers who have now been placed on suspension as this investigation continues. So that is where we are concerning this situation. So the investigation will be ongoing, and now the professional standards group and together with Senior Superintendent Chan, who is in charge of the Criminal Investigation Department, will join with the homicide to continue the case. Well, it is difficult to give a particular time. However, we deal with it must be a reasonable time. And what is reasonable? Sometimes reasonable, and I take the lead from the law, is normally a 3-month period. But in these circumstances, we are hoping that we can get the final outcome even earlier than that. Because we have officers who are faced on suspension, and it's something that we need to deal with within the police service, that when we have these investigations, we try to complete them as soon as practicable. So I normally take the team approach and put a team of persons together instead of one individual investigator so that the investigation can be completed. Well, our police service regulations is clear that whenever there is an investigation that is being done involving officers, it is wise for us to put them on suspension in most instances as the investigation go along. And if it is found that they are in fact culpable in any way, then they can be placed on another addition, what we call interdiction, where they can be on half the quarter depending on the circumstances. In this circumstance, it is dealing with the first stage of suspension. Well, to explain the release, remember, we are doing an investigation based on our scientific outcome tend to influence the way how the investigation will go on. From the outcome of the scientific report that was given by the Forensic Science Center, it influences the decision making. But we are still making the call for anybody else who may have information concerning this matter, who witness anything, to come forward, because there is in fact information coming from both sides in relation to the investigation. So we are asking anybody else who is willing to come forward with as the investigation go along. I know that the group of investigators are quite professional and experienced. So therefore, as they go about this investigation, whosoever have other information that can help us finalize the investigation, they will be able to cause them to come forward based on those results. And especially the ballistic report. Well, I just want to reinforce the point of the effort being made by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to ensure that when we have matters under investigation, we make all efforts to bring it to our closure as fast as possible. And I am ensuring that we, the police, continue doing that work so that we can achieve that goal. I mean, persons will talk about matters that are probably pending for months, for years in some instances, but I strongly believe that the team approach to the investigation, instead of leaving it to one investigator, we will be able to achieve that goal. We deal with the rule of law in Trinidad and Tobago, and there is focus on procedure that must be followed. Right? A person, right, is being innocent and still proven guilty, and we operate on that platform when we are conducting our investigation, and we like the public to also behave in that manner. Well, do we have an alternative? We don't really have an alternative, because remember, this is based, number one, on our integrity, and it's infringed on the rule of law, and there is international conventions that we have adhered to. It's about our country and dealing with the whole the credibility of our country, and also we have the police complaints authority, who is also doing a parallel investigation into this matter. So therefore, you have that watch group there, that is the department, that is the police complaints authority, and they have investigators and they are doing a parallel investigation. So, the population can be assured that the Federal Tobago Police Service, as we did in the recent and we did in the recent past, will continue doing our investigation in a fair manner, upholding the rule of law.